One of my favorite products from the Rastelli line, and they bring a lot of meat to QVC, but these are the premium pork steaks. You've heard of ribeye steaks? These are pork ribeye steaks. I mean, premium, so juicy, so lovely, and so perfect because they come today with Tuscan butter.
They do.
Along with these great size premium pork steaks, each one of them 6 ounces. This is Ray Rastelli, our own personal butcher. He's been a lot of people's butcher for the last, how many years?
48 years.
48 years.
Yes.
My gracious, sir. This is a real pleasure to have you back, and I'm so glad you brought this product back because this is something so very popular with our customer. We're shipping this either now, immediately, or March the 11th, and we also have auto delivery 90 days for one year, and every 90 days for 1 year, and we're $12.02 less, and plus the Tuscan butter.
Yes, and you know what's really amazing, David? When people try this pork, the word I get from them all the time is, "Are you sure this pork? I've never tasted pork like this." And if you just look at the juices inside this is the reason why. Now, we've got some of that beautiful Tuscan herb butter, and of course the Tuscan herb butter's got some garlic, some onion, rosemary, thyme, salt, and it's just the perfect complement. But you don't have to even use the Tuscan butter if you don't want to on this. You can just cook these.
If you want to send it to me,
are.
that's fine. I'll take care of it. But you know what? Sometimes I cook in it.
You can absolutely
I put it
do
in the
that.
skillet, and I use it to brown my pork steaks first, and then I finish them in the oven.
Yes, and you can certainly sear with that, but it really starts on the farm. That's what I want to speak to you about, because it's all about where we actually get this pork from. This is a prime rib of pork. Now, we all know prime rib is the most juicy piece of beef. It's my favorite cut of beef. Well, it's also my favorite cut of pork. So we start with the prime rib of pork, and then, of course, unlike beef, we do not age this. This comes right from the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish country, comes right to our butcher shop, and this is what we cut. Now, you'll notice it's a ribeye. It's a pork ribeye. You can call it a pork chop if you want. You might hurt its feelings, as you say all the time, David, but it's a pork steak. So I love cooking it just like a steak. It'll perform better than most any steak you've ever eaten, but you can do so many different things with this as well.
Yes, while Mr. Rastelli was talking, I was eating. I'm a big fan of these.
Yeah.
I have these probably once a week for dinner.
They are really, really special. One of the things that makes them special, besides the juiciness, is the tenderness. So I want to show you just with a fork. I'm going to take this nice thick chop, and I'm going to go right through the center. Now, could you do that with your grandmother's pork chops? No. You really couldn't. Look at this. Right through the very center.
First of all, Grandma cooked them for filth.
Exactly.
And
look at that.
Just it has to be cooked to 145 internal temp?
That's it. David, this is so tender. I'm going to go through 2 of them with a fork. Look at this. Right with my fork, I'm going through 2 of the pork chops. Now, that means you've got the right piece of pork to start with. You've got an incredible flavor. The tenderness, I promise you, if you use this for anything that you might have done a dish with chicken or with veal, you're going to see this is going to be more tender, more tasty, and have a wonderful texture.
Yeah, don't call this a pork chop. You'll hurt its feelings. This is a pork steak. This is delightful. Now, you had your chef food stylist make one the way I make these at home. I dip it first in egg, once I thaw it. Then I roll it in Parmesan cheese.
And that's what we did here for you.
And then I put it in a skillet with some of that Tuscan butter or avocado oil. I brown it on both sides and finish it in the oven to a 145 internal temp. And this is delightful. What's really great about this, too, is I can cut this with a fork.
That's what I love. I love that you can cut that right with a fork, and that's got that. What a wonderful recipe that was, too.
Well,
I got
it's so
to taste
simple.
That. Yes.
And I wanted something that was, well, first of all, the steaks themselves are low carb. And then you add the Parmesan cheese, which adds a salt bite. And then if you want to cook it in that butter, that butter is delightful. Boy, that tastes familiar. Wow, is that good. So good. And no seasoning.
No seasoning at all. It's just your Parmesan, right?
So good.
But here's one of my favorite things to do, because this pork is so tender. This is one piece. All I've done is taken my mallet and flattened it out.
Yeah.
Just pounded it out. That's a meal for at least one, certainly maybe 2.
Well, one David, but it would be probably 2 regular people.
And a little bit of gravy right on top of that. So again, versatile. How about as a kebab? Now, kebabs, kebabs can be really tough at times depending on the piece of meat you use. I promise you, when you try this and you cut this into cubes, like I did here, because remember, it's completely boneless. It's been trimmed 100% by our butcher, so you're not going to have any fat. Cut them into cubes and put them on kebabs. These 2 kebabs were from one of those beautiful steaks that we did.
That's just one steak.
That's one steak.
Look how much that is. That could be a meal for 2 people.
It absolutely could.
400 of these are out the door. We are very, very busy. And auto delivery, I'm guessing, is probably very popular today because people who already know this item are picking up on auto delivery. Now, Rachel, you've never tried this before.
I've never tried this. I'm
Now,
very excited.
clean forks are right here.
Okay, perfect.
Now,
And
Rachel,
I was cutting with my
This
fork,
there you
so
go.
you should be fine.
there. Look at this.
Wow,
Even
look at
Rachel
this.
can cut right through that with her fork.
With the fork.
Yep.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm usually afraid of pork because it's always dry, but I can already tell the juiciness of this one.
Yes.
Wait until you taste. Now, that just has Tuscan butter on it. Now, even if it
my
didn't have the
goodness.
Tuscan butter,
Isn't that amazing?
is the seasoning all the way through?
Completely all the way through. Oh my goodness. So that has the Tuscan butter.
Has the Tuscan, and all I did was took the Tuscan butter, just dropped it on top once
Like
it came
this
out
one.
of the oven, just like that.
And let it melt.
Oh
Came
my
out right,
gosh.
just melted right into that. But
need
and
more.
I love when you go back for that second bite, right? That means it's really, really what you expect.
Oh
So,
wow. It's really well done.
yes, yes, and simple and easy.
Oh, thank you. So good.
I'm telling you what, 500 of these are out the door. Thank
my
you, Miss
goodness.
Rachel. Enjoy.
So good.
And if you want more, you know where to come. Hey, when this is over, come back and get all the leftovers you can hold. This is, people ask me all the time, what happens to all that good food on QVC? Well, the crew eats very well.
Yes.
This is very popular, and we are very, very, very busy. A lot of you are thinking about auto delivery. Now, we're shipping this either, think about what you got room for in your freezer, because this is how they come packaged. They come packaged singly.
Yes.
So they're in vacuum sealed packages, and they're perfect. You only take out what you need as you need it. Now, if you forget to thaw it, as I do many times, throw this in the package in a bowl of cold water.
Yes, and I like to keep the cold water running over top of it because it'll actually defrost in about 5 minutes as long as you keep that cold water running over top of it. But that package is very, very special. It's not just about freezing it, it's about bacteria. So as soon as we cut these chops and the butchers make these steaks, we put them right into that package, and that vacuum package seals in all the freshness. More importantly, it keeps out the bacteria. And of course, food safety is at the very, very top of the chain of everything we do, David.
I'm having a big bite. And I always tell hosts that I train on food, take small bites because you have to talk, but. This is so good. Let me tell you right now, if you love good pork, I mean, I'm not talking run-of-the-mill pork. I'm talking about really great pork. Pork steaks, buy this product. You will not be disappointed. This has the Tuscan butter. You can use it or not. It's just going to add more salt, pepper, garlic.
Yes.
All the things you would probably add to something like this anyway. 900 of these, sir, are gone.
Oh, my goodness.
We are very, very busy. Auto delivery, very popular. Every 90 days to 1 year, you can keep a good thing coming. Now, once you try these, you're going to be like, why didn't I go auto delivery? Why didn't I listen to David? You know, the big tall guy that looks like Barney the Purple Dinosaur. This is really important because it's going to be great. If you're doing pork parmesan.
And one of my favorites. And you know, typically we'll do this with chicken. I'll do it with chicken or veal, and I'll make a chicken cutlet parm or a veal parm. When you try it with pork, what you're going to realize is the flavor and the tenderness in this piece of pork is better than any piece of veal or any chicken you have tasted. But that's one piece. Remember, it's 6 ounces, but it's been completely trimmed, David. So from one end to the other, you're going to eat that.
And this, let me come back here and show you, the Tuscan butter will come in a little tub. It'll be frozen. So what I do with this is I just take it out and put it in my butter keeper. With my regular butter, and then let it come to, you know, chilled temperature, but it defrosts, and then I can just pop the lid off. There's a little cover, and then you just help yourself to some butter and put it in the skillet or put it on top of the steak, whatever you like to do. Notice I didn't call this a pork chop. You will hurt its feelings. This is one of the very best items that Mr. Rastelli brings to QVC, in my opinion. It's important to know that 1,200 of these are out the door. Everybody is considering auto delivery who has purchased these before. Those of you who have not purchased them before, if you want to try them, come back and do auto delivery. But if you want to take my word for it, go ahead and sign up for auto delivery because you're going to wish you had. Once you taste these, you're going to be like, what? They're so delicious, they're so tender, they're so easy. And remember, cook these to an internal temp of 145.
That's all you've got to do.
You don't have to cook pork to death like you used to.
You do not, and you're going to get something tender, juicy, and I promise you, easy. When this is on your plate, your kids, your family, your guests, they're not going to believe.
And what do I like to say about juice?
Where there's juice, there's flavor.
There's flavor.
Look at that
And
flavor.
even if we didn't have Tuscan butter on it, these would be super juicy. This is one of the very best products, pork products you're ever going to put in your mouth. And I am so grateful to you, sir, for bringing it back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay on the line for this, and if you haven't ordered yet, jump on the line. But right now, let's check in with Rachel.